You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Mr. Green, and you are listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. In this particular episode, we spotlight yet another wonderful young lady on the independent circuit, that being the superhero Selene Grey, and we're going to get into that interview in just a moment. Of course, I just want to take a moment to address a few things in the wrestling world, you know, as sometimes we tend to do on these podcasts. I won't go into the whole spiel about Impact Wrestling being canceled, Impact Wrestling being moved, and all that stuff like that, because there's a full podcast just based on that was done, you know, like a day ago. And if you want to hear it, of course, you can click the links, and it'll take you directly to that. You can hear exactly what we think and what we believe that TNA, specifically Dixie Carter, should be doing. You know, if for nothing else, just to kind of clear up the bad PR that company has. But I do want to say that I'm probably repeating myself, that I don't want to see TNA or Impact Wrestling just dissolve or go away. I actually hope that they can get their affairs in order and pull this thing together, because up until maybe, you know, this week, I should say, when ROH signed on to Destination America, they were the de facto number 2 in America. Now that's a disputed position now, because Ring of Honor is pretty much in just as many places as Impact Wrestling is. But the point being is, I enjoyed their rebranding and getting themselves back together, and I enjoyed that it gave people places to go. And I always kind of tend to go back to the interview I had with Mistress Belmont, and that ladies like her, you know, they looked forward to that place, because it gave people who didn't fit the mold of the WWE, and I would imagine that goes both ways with not just the ladies, which we kind of focus on here, but I'd imagine it goes that way with the men as well, that having some other place that you could actually go and work full time as a wrestler, even though you didn't fit the mold or the characteristics that the WWE had, especially towards the women. They're kind of opening that up a little bit now, but expect, you know, at the time you had to fit a certain mold, and if you didn't have that, you probably were not going to make it. But Impact Wrestling was a bit more open to that, and for that reason alone, I liked having it around. And I certainly, in public, want to say that I hope they can get everything in order, and one way or the other, I hope they survive. But should they not wishing that it happens, I'm also happy to see that Ring of Honor has made it to another location, which will broaden their scope, and it will add another revenue source for them. So, you know, people who don't get to the WWE or don't go to WrestleMania or something like that, it won't be looked at as a loss of the career anymore. That's the important part. I'm glad about that. It won't be looked at as, I never made it to WWE and I was trying to do it. Well, you know, Ring of Honor is a good place to go. Ring of Honor has some fantastic shows. They're action-packed. I got a chance to get the one live. It was a great time to watch them, seeing the Briscoes up close and personal. It was a fantastic match. You know, needless to say, Jay Lethal, you know, Adam Cole, the Kingdom in general, you know, all of those guys put on a phenomenal show. So, I'm excited to see what Ring of Honor does. Now, to the best of my knowledge, they won't be presenting a totally new program, but it's just good to have it out there, and it's good to have it reach more homes. Even if Destination America isn't a USA Network or a Spike TV, it's got more places to go, and that's always good. I think Sasha Banks has returned to the ring, is uh, following her fantastic showing at the last Takeover special. So that's good news. She was out for a little while. Now, of course, us not being on the road or following her around isn't gonna, it's not gonna make much a difference to us because we're not there to see the house shows that NXT has begun to do. But I do believe that she was pulled off of those for just a little bit of a, you know, rest period. But as far as the reports go, that she returned back to action Friday night, so that's good. Sasha Banks is a incredible talent. Some of you may remember her from back in the day as Mercedes KV. So if you haven't had a chance to see her work before she got signed to a WWE contract, before she assumed the name Sasha Banks, take a browse around YouTube. She's there under the name Mercedes KV. A lot of her matches against the young lady that I just mentioned earlier in this podcast, Mistress Belmont. So that might be some interesting homework for you to do. I did see the Six Sides of Steel match with, I guess, what Impact Wrestling is trying to produce as new rivals, uh, Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim. I like Taryn Terrell. I think that she has a very big upside, good-looking lady, and of course, the willingness that she has to put her body on the line is just absurd. And the fact that she's willing to do those things to make the match look good, it only gives me more hope for her. Now, that being said, I think that she has got to get out of these matches with the gimmicks and the smoke and mirrors. Almost every match that I can really recall with her under any large or massive circumstances have almost been either multi women matches, ladder match, last woman standing match, steel cage match, and recently we got the dollhouse added to it, so there's interference. You don't really get a lot of Taryn Terrell matches where it is just her and she's just performing on her own at least. Uh, there are a few she's had with Test Markers. She had one with Awesome Kong and a couple others sprinkled throughout. But she hasn't gotten to this point where where she should be as a champion. Let's put it that way. A lot of times we associate the champion with as somebody who could take some of the most mediocre of talent and carry them into a great match. Well, Taryn Terrell is a good athlete, and I think she's very willing, and she, like I said before, willing to put her body on the line for lots of things. But I don't know if she's at the point yet where she could literally carry a match. The best matches of her career have been, well, the best match of her career has been that Slammiversary match, the last woman standing, without question. The ladder match is probably a close second. But she hasn't had that stellar just wrestling match yet. She hasn't come to that point. And I say that on the heels of talking about Sasha Banks coming back because you look at the ladies in NXT, the core four, if you want to call them that, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Bayley. Those young ladies can really kill it in a ring without any gimmicks attached to them. I mean, they have just outstanding matches. There's no other way to put it. They have outstanding matches. And, short of some of the ladies that have worked Shimmer and Shine and stuff like that, I'm not sure if there's many better. Gail Kim, obviously, you have to put her name in there. If she had somebody that can go right along with her, she could definitely deliver the goods. Taryn Terrell, she's got a little bit ways to go to get there, and in my opinion, I would love to see her have just a straight up wrestling match and kind of get the paces and learn and grow. But she is working at a deficit. We do have to recognize the fact that for the most part she started at the top. She came in at WWE and mostly as a general manager for the defunct ECW brand. When she was dismissed, I guess, from that promotion, she went to OVW, trained a little bit, and then went to TNA. But she really hasn't had the opportunity to tour and get her legs underneath her as far as being a wrestler is concerned. Not at least not the same way as people like Angelina Love or Madison Rayne or Gail Kim and others that have been in and out of that promotion have done. A lot of them had just independent wrestling experience underneath their belts before they got to that point, before they held a championship or just a bunch of matches. And I think that Taryn Terrell needs that. She needs to get in the ring with the Gail Kims, the Madison Rains, and other girls that are just, I guess there's no small way to say it, the ones that are better than her as far as in-ring function are concerned. I'm not trying to insult her, but just in terms of in-ring capability, I think she needs to get in the ring with those that are better, so that she can really get it. She can learn and she can grow. But I just wanted to touch on that a little bit, just following the match, because I thought the match was pretty short, and it just again it was a smoke and mirrors match. It was steel cage, the dollhouse is outside, and just it didn't really do that much for me. It was interesting. It was fun to watch, but I've seen better, and I would like to see them get back to that point. I would like to see them basically challenge NXT for top spot for what ladies wrestling is, because at one point in time, the Knockouts were the standard bearer, hands down. There was no question about that. Now that spot's being challenged, and I want them to accept the challenge, and I want their champion to accept the challenge. Okay, now that being said, we got that out of the way. We are going into one of the ladies on the independent circuit, Miss Selene Grey. This is the interview that we had. Take a listen, and be sure to stop on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Our website is on the way, and follow us on Twitter, WPN Wrestling. WPN Wrestling on Twitter, Women's Pro Wrestling Network on Facebook, Women's Pro Wrestling Network on YouTube. Make sure that you follow and support. We appreciate it all. And now, let's get to the interview. Here at the WPN, we always endeavor to bring you some of the newer and interesting guests, and this show is no different. My guest on the program today made her splash as listed on her Facebook page in 2013 and has been making a splash ever since. That is her words. You could call her the breathing embodiment of a superhero, and she's got some nice gear to boot for a reasonable price. Go on her Facebook page. You can check that out. We'll say that she's the SuperGirl of the wrestling scene. This is Selene Grey. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, particularly now that you've popped up on the scene. That makes the night right there.
Thanks. Good to hear.
You come off as such a nice person in the ring, so we're going to delve into a little bit of that and see if you actually are a nice person outside of it, too.
Okay, so you're saying this is a test, huh?
Well, you never know what you get now. I've talked to some people who have been quite brutal in the ring, but been sweethearts outside of it for whatever reason. So you never know what you're walking into. But
that's true.
But the first and most important thing that we have to do here is, not only is this for the fan base that's listening, but I like to put it out for the promoters as well. So I want to get your social media, where fans can follow you and potential people that want to contact you for future dates or bookings and things like that can get a hold of you. So if you would just give, your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram or whatever it is that you feel like plugging, feel free to do so.
Oh yeah, I'm on Twitter and Facebook. Most of my bookings do come through Facebook. It's easier to message, I think. It's just /SuperGirl Selene Grey, and my Twitter is @Selene Grey, so pretty simple.
Okay, that's easy to remember. Yeah. I'm going to jump out of the order of my questions here, and just since you brought up the SuperGirl thing, why SuperGirl?
Is that a question? Because SuperGirl, Superman, DC, it's all awesome.
Yeah, well, it is. Okay, are you a comic book person?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll save that then. I'll save it until we'll go into wrestling first, and then I'll get to the oddball questions later. Speaking of wrestling, why on earth would you choose such a unique career path as professional wrestling?
It's funny, I get that question a lot, and the answer actually surprises a lot of people. I actually, a few years ago, I went to a couple of the WWE shows, and my brother had gone with me to one. So for Christmas one year, I believe it was Christmas 2012, he had got me the WWE, I believe 2013. But I couldn't get the guy to move the way that I wanted him to move. So I pretty much just said, screw this, I'm going to do this myself. And I found a school, and the rest is literally history.
It was that simple. You went to some shows. They didn't do what you needed them to do. You said, screw it, I'm going to go and learn myself.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. So basically my career started because I got frustrated with the video game.
Okay. That's interesting. Now, the video game, the avatars, the creator wrestlers that you can have on there, I mean, generally speaking, they can do quite a bit. Now, what kind of crazy maneuver are you trying to pull off that you couldn't do in this video game?
Just literally walking, telling him to tag in the guy, and I could not get him to move the way that I wanted to do. So I just got frustrated with it and just wanted to do it by myself.
Okay, so is it a safe bet to say that if the game could have responded at the speed of your thought, you might not be wrestling right now?
Well, I don't know, because I could have gone the other way and say, this is so cool, I want to do it myself, but...
That's true. That's true. That's good. All right, so let's plug the training center. You went to go train. Where did you train?
I trained with PCW in Chicago Ridge in Illinois.
All right, so I'm assuming there must be a good school, so if anybody's in the Chicago area looking for some training, learning how to do their business in the squared circle, PCW would be the place to go?
It would have been the place to go, but unfortunately they're no longer a Fed right now, which is very sad for me and all other PCW superstars that were on the roster.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I guess business is business. That does happen. Where are you from originally? My family's actually from South America. So that's where I get the whole Uruguay. I'm actually half Uruguayan and half Paraguayan. Okay. So it's all in South America, but I was born here in Chicago. All right. So I see. Now, you're still relatively fresh. I mean, considering that your profile has stated you for 2013 as your debut. Were there any short-term goals? I mean, other than being able to do what the creator wrestler on the Raw or on the game couldn't do. Other than that, were there any other short-term goals that you had in front of you?
Just my short-term goals is just to be everywhere, anywhere that I can wrestle. Just get my name out there and wrestle as much as I can, as often as I can, and with as many new people as I can. So just to have really fun with it, but also be out there and putting my name out there.
Well, now the industry as it stands today, that can be a little bit difficult. I've talked about this on a couple of occasions with people. I mean, now the indies have blossomed a bit, but you still have to kind of work hard at trying to get bookings and the amount of bookings that you need to kind of expand your repertoire, so to speak. As it sits right now, what would you say your average is for just bookings in general? I mean, are you doing like once in a week, 2 or 3 times, maybe 4, whatever the case may be? How frequently are you in a ring?
Most frequently it's once a week. I'm mostly booked most Saturdays, and I mean I would like to do a little bit more, but I think this is a good start.
It's a good start. Yeah, I mean, you got the frequency happening there. Now, what's it going to take to push it out to 2 and 3 times? Is it just you need more locations within that area? Are you traveling, to hit these extra days, or what's the plan in front of you here? Well, the plan of expansion.
It's not really the traveling. I'll go whoever wants me, but it's more that lots of people book the same day. So if I'm already booked on Saturday, most people run on Saturday, possibly a Sunday, and if I'm 5 hours away, I can't take another booking that's 7 hours from that place. But it just wouldn't work for me.
Well, I would imagine it wouldn't work for most people, and there again, it lies the difficulty of being the independent contractor. I mean, there's a lot going on in there, not just inside the ring, but outside of just the business of the business, I guess, if you want to call it that. I was going to ask you what ultimately made you want to give pro wrestling a try, but we're gonna lock that down to a video game.
Yes.
That which is funny. I mean, I do find that. And while you were playing that game, did you have a little representation for yourself in there?
Oh, of course. I put myself on there. I looked at the moves that I wanted to do, and I tried to do them. But again, the little guy wouldn't go where I wanted him to go, so that's what just frustrated me.
That's terrible.
I don't know if you ever played any of the games, but I tried to grab. I don't know if it happened to you. I tried to grab the guy, and I could not grab the guy. He'd be too far or too close, and he'd go behind me, and it was just very frustrating. And then you have the little kid screaming at you that I can't tag him in because I don't know what button to press. I'm pressing the button, and it won't work.
You was playing it online.
Oh, I tried. That didn't last too long.
You never do that right. You gotta work out all the bugs before you play it online. Those kids are they're raw.
They're brutal.
That's like you can't just walk into playing a game like that or walk into playing Call of Duty. You get massacred.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I right there. I just feel for you right now. For someone who has never seen you. Let's play the introduction game here. Who is Selene Grey?
Selene Grey is a fast-paced, exciting character that pretty much is, I want to say, just entertaining, not just for adults, but kids and little girls, and just is the type of person that kind of inspires mostly children, to be honest. I mean, I have a lot of fans that are adults, but not that I don't focus on them, but I do like to focus on the younger crowd, just them being lit up every time I go out there, and just looks like they're being inspired to do something on their own. That's just the best feeling for me.
Okay. Now, I did say at the beginning of this that you seem like a nice person. I made a point to sit down and watch a series of Selene Grey matches. And you've always come off as, the baby face, or, in the ones that I've watched at least.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you have it in you to go in complete opposite mode, like just nasty, mean heel, Or would you even want to try that? I mean, because, like I said, you got a pretty good bond. You know, the kids like you. You got this nice hero gimmick. Would you ever consider going opposite of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll do whatever anybody wants me to do, like a booker or whatever they want. But as for going heel, yeah, I'm up for it. I mean, as a wrestler, as any kind of entertainer, you have to do what you're told pretty much. But I mean, that'll be fun. I like what I do now, but I'm sure I could find some fun things to do. There's some, what they call heel moves I would like to try.
Yeah, but, you know, it would be so disappointing to see you just flip. I think I would be disappointed. You know, you have such a wholesome character right now, but, you know, persona. Let's go through the traveling resume since 2013. I'm sure this is just an approximation, but how well traveled are you? How many locations have you worked thus far?
Oh man, that's a hard question. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much booked at least once a week. So I mean, coming up on my 2 years in August, so I've gone to quite a few places. The furthest I've ever traveled was probably be Kentucky, southwise. Northwise, probably Virginia.
Okay. Would that be Cubby Pro?
Yes, it would.
All right. Big shout out for them.
Yeah, they're great people.
So now the next thing they have to say is, you know, you must make your way further south into the Atlanta area so that some of the people down here, hint, will be able to see you work live in some of the rings here, such as Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Aurora Wrestling, or perhaps Universal Independent Wrestling. Quick plugs for all of those places. So.
Oh yeah, I would love to. Like I said, I mean, I'm available on Facebook. Any bookers, promoters that are listening at Selene Grey, / for Facebook, / SuperGirl Selene Grey. So pretty simple to contact.
Well, that's always good to know, and I think there's a slew of talent down here that you could probably have some reasonable matches with.
Great, look forward to it.
Or perhaps tag off with. Everybody has a goal when they step into the business. What would you say that your, you know, I don't want to say ultimate goal. We talked about short-term goals, but let's talk long-term here. Like you're in it. You've been doing it for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Does the goal change for you? Is there something that's ultimate in the on the horizon?
I mean, yeah, I think that a long-term goal really comes from your short-term goals. If my short-term goals, which are just travel a lot more around, get as many bookings as I can, at least in the U.S., would it be like a short-term goal? As for long-term, I'd like to go out of the U.S. I'd love to go to South America. That'd be a dream. There's actually a company down there in Uruguay, which is where I'm from. I would love to go down there. That'd probably be a dream of mine.
Oh, okay. What's been your impression of the independents now that you've dealt with it for about 2 years? I know they can be, you know, great some places, iffy in others. So your experience with it so far, without naming any names or any companies or anything like that, we're not trying to create a salacious shoot type environment, but just you know, personal experience. What has been your impression so far?
I mean, like you had mentioned, I'm pretty new in the company. I've been pretty lucky. I mean, everybody has been really nice to me. Everybody's been pretty respectful and everything. I haven't really had a problem with any, for instance, like the locker rooms or any of the fans or anything. Everybody's been pretty cool. Everybody is fair. I mean, I haven't had a problem with anybody that I've worked with. So I mean, all in all, it's been great to me so far, knock on wood.
Okay. Well, you have my phone going off there in the background, so for those that are listening, that little bit of Christopher Walken was my message tone. So that wasn't random, folks. That was Mr. Green's phone. I do believe you were a rosebud, or were you a rosebud?
I was a rosebud. Yes, I was.
You were a rosebud. How on
yeah.
earth did you manage that gig?
They just, my profile was actually on WWE.com under the recruitment, and they just called me one day and said, "Hey, we need you."
Okay, just that simple. Hey, we're in town. Well,
yep, that's really all it took. Yep.
Well, there you have it, folks. You know, secret's out. She just pulled back the curtain for you. So now you know. You've learned something new right here on the Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling with Mr. Green. For people who have not seen you work, now, like I said before, there's a collection of matches that you have listed on YouTube. But in your opinion, which match best showcases your in-ring ability?
The ones that aren't recorded, the ones that you have to go see me live at.
That's a good answer. That's a good business answer. I'll go with that. Yep. Okay. The best match to showcase her ability hasn't existed yet. You got to go see her live. All right.
Exactly.
So we'll switch gears to toughest opponent so far.
Toughest opponents. I mean, everybody works really well together. So, I mean, toughest opponents wise, I've wrestled pretty much lots of bigger names, like, for instance, Melanie Cruz. She's an awesome girl. Stacey Shadows, again, awesome. But I don't know if you would consider that tough. I mean, as a wrestler, as the whole gimmick, yeah, they're probably my toughest opponent. I would say Stacey Shadows. As for the actual real business, there was no really like tough opponent. Everybody's been awesome. Everybody's helped me out. I mean, I like to think I've helped out some people too. So it's all been a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, you know, perhaps I have a B-side to that question. Because, yeah, you're right. And I guess in terms of persona, they could be tough, I guess, you know, when people see them. But they all been pros with you. Now, the other side of that is you assumably learn out of dealing with people who are more experienced or better than you, or however you choose to put that. Between the ropes, what would you say that you've learned the most? You know, we're outside of training, and now you're getting, I guess, the real world experience. And this person, whoever it may be, fill in the blank, has provided you the most kind of real world knowledge that you've had so far. Is there anybody that comes to mind?
I would have to say Matt Creed.
Matt Creed?
Yeah, Matt Creed.
Oh, okay. So you've been wrestling some guys there.
Yeah, well, he was my actual trainer at PCW. As for women, though, I would definitely say Stacey Shadows. She was there when I was brand new, and she helped me a lot with what I was doing.
Okay. So, well, then, shout out to her, Stacey Shadows, helping kind of mold who you are in the ropes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Championships. You know, when you're in the wrestling business, you have to talk championships. Are there any that you could win? And we're talking about in a real world sense, not just the persona of, you know, Selene Grey in the ring. We're talking about real world. If you were booked to come out and hold a title, is there any particular title that would be a moving moment for you? Like this would almost push you to tears that I had it.
Probably Shimmer, I have to say.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is any particular reason behind it? Just that is local, or because you grew, you know, you kind of watched it grow, or I mean, is there any particular reason why that promotion and his championship would mean that much to you?
because I just watch all those girls that work so hard come from all over the world that compete for that title, and it's like you're competing for that title from people all over the world, not just like the Chicagoland area, and those girls just work so hard. So being the top there would just be amazing.
Okay. That is interesting. Let's pick your brain about the wrestling landscape, if you will. Right now, I shouldn't say right now. I think they hit their reset button maybe about 2 months ago, something like that. And within that reset, they kind of hit the reset button on the Knockouts division. The WWE Divas went through their their hashtag Give Divas a Chance movement on Twitter. What is your impression of both of those divisions?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have the network that TNA is on, so I really can't see too much of theirs.
YouTube,
but I mean,
YouTube.
Yeah, I should YouTube it. I mean, I do like some of the people. I'm not even sure who's on the roster anymore for TNA. I like Gail Kim and all those girls, but as for the WWE, they really, like they said, they really don't get a chance. They have 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and they can't really show who they are there. So I mean, if they get more of a chance, I was watching the NXT today with the women. They had about a 20-minute match. They have a lot more leeway. I was actually talking about that earlier today. If I was in the WWE, I would be fine just staying on the NXT roster instead of moving up to WWE.
I've heard a couple of people say that. I've heard fans say that, and I was like, I don't want them to leave. I just stay on NXT. That would be great.
Yeah.
But you know, for you and the other people who are not privy to Destination America, I do believe there's a guy that's on YouTube who I can't remember his username, but I'm sure if you search him, every episode of Impact goes up on his channel. Let's put it that way. So, if you're not available, if Destination America isn't available to you, and yes, I get it, it's not available to everybody. It's only HD channel and it doesn't have a lot of homes and all that stuff like that. But if you're out there and you're wanting to see it, this is a side note for the people listening. You can find it. There's a guy that's on YouTube that uploads those things fairly regularly, and I haven't seen him get bumped off yet. So, have at it, kids. Knock yourself out. Let's do the magic booking sheet. If you have the ability to pick any active competitor from any organization to get in the ring with, who would it be and why?
From anywhere, I would love to work Gail Kim. I had mentioned her, but I like her style. She's very quick-paced, and I would love to work her.
Okay. That would be interesting. You know, she's considered I guess maybe the top 5 in the world. If you don't learn anything from her, where can you possibly learn it?
Oh yeah.
that might be interesting. Now, you know, I'm going to assume, and this is my assumption, because I always had this thing figured that most wrestlers have their own kind of fantasy. Not just fantasy booking, but fantasy storyline, fantasy angle that they would like, you know, if I could, I would implement this, and I would be here, and we would start with this, and boom, 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 and we would end at Bound for Glory or WrestleMania or whatever, so on and so forth. Is there a fantasy booking sitting in the back of your mind for any particular person? Now, I'm going to assume Gail Kim because they Gail Kim, but is there a fantasy booking or fantasy storyline to go along with that?
I mean, yeah, like I mentioned before, I really like the whole superhero thing, and I would love to do a kind of a storyline where I kind of am, like, I don't know if you've heard of, like, Red Kryptonite and Red
I have.
Lantern and everything. Yeah, so I would like someone to put something, like, it's so off, like, that they're putting something, and then I just kind of, me out of it. That'd be my dream storyline.
You want to be the Superman that is dealt with, well, SuperGirl, let's say, and have red kryptonite that poison your mind. Is that the general gist of it?
Yes, exactly.
And you'll go into heal mode and not even know what you're doing. Well, now, there you go, bookers. You've just given an open door how to book you heal. I don't know what, now here's the thing. You can't go and say, give me kryptonite. You can't do that. You have to create your own version of kryptonite. So, So now that we're here and we're going into the comic book world now, so what is Selene Grey's version of kryptonite?
I would probably say some kind of liquid and just spray a red liquid into my face, like some sort of spray. I don't even know. Probably just red paint or something like that, just to cover me in red all over.
Okay. Now, what you need to do, you need to get a job with WoW. I don't even know if WoW Superheroes is going back on the air. I'm just, I'm not sure about this, so take this with a grain of salt. Last time I spoke with them, I had any communication with them. They said that their new season was coming up after WrestleMania. It hadn't released yet. But, assuming that they were an active entity, running their shows, and they were doing the WoW Superheroes gimmick. See, now, there's a promotion that you would fit, in my opinion, like a hand in a glove. Storyline like that, perfect. In that environment, absolutely. You're almost like at least, if not a first round draft pick, you got to be in like the top 3, just based on that storyline alone. I'm figuring.
Well, thank you. I'd love to do it. I'd do anything. I mean, I just love to have fun. You have one life. Do it.
Okay. Are you still there? Okay. Sound like I hear you now. You back?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's time for me to get to the random questions. This is the segment of the program where I just start pulling off little bits of stuff, not necessarily wrestling related, but I try to get some things that might be interesting to discuss based on your persona. So, here we go. I'm going to assume that there's a little bit of geek girl in you and comic book fan. So, we're going to go this route. Who's going to do the bigger box office 2015? Avengers 2 or Star Wars The Force Awakens?
Well, that's a silly question.
It's silly? Well,
it's a very silly question. Think about Marvel or Star Wars. It's going to be Marvel.
You don't think Star Wars is going to take it? People have been waiting.
No.
They've been dying for this for like a decade.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to go with Marvel.
Okay, so you're going with Marvel. I'm a little iffy there. I'm kind of like leaning towards Force Awakens here. I love Avengers 2. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, people want to wipe that bad taste of those prequels out of their mouth, and they want to go into a whole new thing. I don't even think they count the prequels anymore. So, best television show on TV today. Think on that one a second.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, what is the best television show on TV today? And or Netflix or whatever.
I like Gotham. I've been watching that. It's been kind of cool. I've also been watching Flash again with all the superhero stuff, but I don't really have that much time to watch anything live, so I do most Hulu, and Once Upon a Time is probably on my top 5 too. That's a great show. I don't know if you've ever seen it. So I like a lot of sci-fi and fantasy kind of stuff. So I think it's all pretty cool.
Good for you. We all love it down here. Which I said if I was dealing with Dragon Con, I would give a quick plug for them because they're coming around in Labor Day. In Atlanta, they have great stuff happening. Why Supergirl opposed to Wonder Woman?
Superman has always been my favorite, and Supergirl's been her own person. She has all that power, but knows how to control it. Wonder Woman, she's never really appealed to me, to be honest. I know a lot of people love her, but I don't know, she's not really that great to me. I mean, she's awesome, but I just like Supergirl better. I like her colors. I like everything about her. I like that she's a bit younger. She's a little sassy. She knows how to get the job done.
Fair enough. Name me one obscure superhero that you like.
I don't know. Why don't you give me one that you like?
Hyperion.
What? I'm sorry, who?
Hyperion.
Hyperion. I don't even know who that is or where he's from.
Marvel Comics he's how can I put it? He's like their version of Superman in an alternate universe.
Got you. It's almost like, what they call it? I know in Smallville they called him Ultraman, but I think he was actually called something else in the actual comics, where he was pretty much another dimension of Superman.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But
just Google Squadron Supreme. It'll come up. You'll see it.
Okay. I mean, Bizarro is pretty cool, but again, that's all Superman stuff.
I don't know if Bizarro counts. Can you really count Bizarro? He's not really a hero, per se.
Yeah, but he's cool, so.
He's interesting. I give him that.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't answer that. All of them.
I have to give you something that's going to at least make you think or throw you off or something. So, I tried to get. I didn't want you to give me a mainstream hero. See, it's easy to say Green Lantern, Superman, Batman. That's.
Yeah. How about Ant-Man? How's that?
I don't know that's default. He's got a movie coming out. He might be mainstream.
Oh, that's not fair. Come on.
Okay, I give you that. I give you that one. You found a loophole for that. Xbox or PlayStation?
I like Xbox better because it's the only station that has the game that I absolutely love. I used to go crazy playing it, and PlayStation does not have it because it's by Valve. So Valve is only on Xbox, so I have to go with Xbox.
All right, so all you PlayStation fanboys out there who may be considering queuing up the hate mail, it's not that big of a deal. It's just Fur's Xbox over PlayStation right now just because of the game. So, don't slammer over it. I got Xbox One myself. I'm preparing for this Batman. So, hey, just let that be known. So, it's all the choices, folks. Should NXT be considered a brand of its own?
Oh, yeah, I was actually talking about this the other day. I feel like NXT should be its own brand. Well, I'm not sure if it should be considered its own brand as much as it should be kind of like Raw and SmackDown, where they have two different brands in the NXT side of things, I guess you can say. So NXT can be its own thing, but just have two different places like Raw and SmackDown does.
Okay. That sounds good to me. I think it basically has moved off into its own brand. They started their tour already, so they're essentially like doing the independents almost better than the independents. And speaking of the independents, we have to loop this back around to you before this thing ends. On the independent circuit, now we've covered Gail Kim. Gail Kim is an excellent choice for somebody that you should get in the ring with. But on the independents, certainly there must be a short list of people that you are looking to get into the ring with. And we're not talking, Gail Kim was kind of like the fantasy matchup, because if that happens, that is a huge deal. But Selene Grey, as we, know you right now, there are several really good talents out there that are probably within your arm's reach. Is there anybody on your short list like, oh, if I could just, get in the ring with so-and-so, or, whoever, the Shimmer champion or the Shine champion or Casey Carlisle or Jessie Belle Smothers, whoever. Anybody on in that list on your radar?
I mean, there's a lot of girls that I would love to wrestle. I would love to learn as much as I can. There's been so many girls out there that have been out there for a lot longer than I have. Like you've mentioned, Jessie Belle Smothers would be great to go up against. I don't know if you would count Santana Garrett. I know she's been in TNA and everything, so I'm not sure if you would count her, but it'd be great to get in the ring with her as well. And anybody that can teach me something, and anything that I can learn, maybe hopefully teach them, anything that's going to work well together and just have a good time. I would love to try my foot in any door that I can get it into.
I do count Santana Garrett, actually, because, she was a knockout, but, she is currently on the independent circuit. She, let's see, the NWA champion, the NWA women's champion right now, and Shine champion, so it counts. You could be the next title shot contender, for all I know.
Oh yeah.
Now that might be a magic moment for you right there, getting in the ring with Garrett for the NWA Women's World Championship.
That would be great.
Well then, let's put that out into the universe, that you are going to be a top contender for that championship. Let's say in less than 3 months' time.
Oh, that would be great.
Now, if that actually happens, just say, hey, Mr. Green on the Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling said this was going to happen. Just give me a little due. That's all I'm looking for.
I will definitely give you a shout out.
Yeah, you do that for me, I'll be perfectly fine. That's all I need. Now on the map of your career, that there are what we consider, I guess, the how can I put it, the big three of women's wrestling. You already stated one, being Shimmer, and you said that was a kind of a big thing for you. WSU is kind of considered as another. Shine is the third. I don't know where Valkyrie falls into that whole deal as of yet. I guess it's on the horizon of being one of the ones that everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but that the women wrestlers can go to and kind of build out their character and really get noticed. I'm going to remove Shimmer from this because that's probably going to be a little bit too easy for you. But if you were going to, draw the path right now outside of Shimmer, because, Shimmer's a big deal, and I know, you have a soft spot in your heart for that. Aside from that, though, if you were going to go and all right, I gotta throw a dart at this company and I gotta land there. I want to, really try. Which one of these would you be aiming to hit?
I mean, you might think this is kind of cheating, but I probably would go with Shine.
No, I don't think it's cheating. I know it's a sister company, but no, I don't think it's cheating. I mean, look, they all play a little bit differently, so no, I think that's a perfectly valid answer. I mean, I don't know what the company's relationship to each other currently is, but I know that they were considered sister promotions, so I guess that should have been the logical answer. I should have been waiting on out of that. Okay. Well, that's good. We'll go with that. So we know that Shimmer, Shine, those are some nice priority locations for you. All due respect to every place else, we're not downing them. We're just saying these are personal preferences for what you have right now. Have you ever given consideration to any other persona beyond the superhero role that you've kind of taken? Did you ever tease, like, I might want to do this, or, I might want to be something completely different?
Yeah, I did the whole, just a lot of energy, kind of a little bit what I'm doing now, but I just took away the whole superhero thing, and I did the whole Latin thing, and I just kind of picked pieces of each part of that, and just that's how I got my persona now. So.
Okay, so this is a character of evolution.
Correct.
All right, now that's good. So now, if a promoter comes across to you and is like, "Hey, look, I don't want you to do the superhero thing. I'm just gonna give you a whole new character, boom, right now." Yeah, you ready for that?
Sure, why not?
You are so upbeat. I love it. Okay, well then the promoters are prepared for that too. So I'm also going to be waiting for some promoter just to drop whatever character in your lap and see if you can pull it off. Hopefully somebody be there with a camera so that it can be reported. We have to have these things and people can see it.
Oh yeah, I look forward to the challenge. I love it.
So, all right, now quick ones before I bring this around and close it off. Your merchandise, which is actually kind of, it's nice that you have, because there are people that have been years and years in the business that have no merchandise at all.
Yeah.
Was that your idea? Were you being smart to say, hey, look, if I'm going to do this, I might as well cover myself and give me some T-shirts made and things like that?
Kind of, sort of. I went to a bunch of shows and everybody was asking me, where's my merchandise? You can put it on there. And they were just, it was about a year before everybody was asking me, where's my stuff, before I actually started putting it on there. And I'm not just talking fans or anything, just the people in the backstage that ask me why I don't have anything made, and just talking to them, and I just started making it and putting it out there.
Did you do your own artwork?
I did not. I was not for that, but
okay, but I mean, it's nice stuff. I have to say, I think that is a nice little illustration.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was made for me. It's based off my pictures and my promo shots and everything.
Are you just going to go the extra mile and have yourself a little comic book made?
Maybe. It could happen.
You already got the look character on your shirt. Like you said, it's based off of you right now. I don't know what direction that story would go, but you're already a comic book girl, and I'm just saying that might be the natural progression of things. Like, hey, let's just go with the whole Selene Grey superhero comic book.
I think you're right. I think you're a smart man.
Well, thank you. Now, if you do that, just please save yourself the headache and don't mention SuperGirl in there anywhere.
Oh no.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
Oh no, I won't.
Okay. I just want to be sure. So, merchandise. If they want to get it and they are not at the shows, they're in New York, and they heard about you, but they really want to support you and get a shirt, how else can they get it?
I'd be happy to mail it out to you from where I am. Just contact me on Facebook, and I'll send you a package right to your mailbox there.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. See, look, she's very accommodating. She has unveiled her short-term and long-term goals, went through a series of random questions, all based on sci-fi and superheroes and geek stuff and video games and whatnot, which I don't get a chance to talk about all that often anymore. So, you know, that was fun for me. And even unveiled the secret to how she became a rosebud. So I think just in that alone, it was a phenomenal conversation.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. Oh, you know, there is one other thing I forgot to bring up within the random question before you go. I don't remember if I asked whether you're a Marvel or a DC girl.
Oh, DC, 100%.
Shame on you.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. She's a DC girl. So I guess I should have known that just based off of the SuperGirl thing, but I have to ask for verification's sake. So there we have it. We got it all. Xbox, DC, SuperGirl opposed to Wonder Woman. She likes the sci-fi and fantasy. Going with Avengers for big in the box office. And we got all the wrestling stuff too. So that is a good night.
I agree.
All right. Well, Miss Selene Grey, I certainly want to thank you for taking the time out to do this podcast and share your journey in the wrestling business and a little bit of yourself with some of the listeners of the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Green. Thank you so much for having me and contacting me. I really appreciate you having me.
Well, we appreciate your time, and hopefully, as time goes on, you get another year underneath your belt, we can have this again and have some new stuff to talk about.
Oh, for sure. I look forward to it.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. Be sure to check her out on all her social media. Say your social media is SuperGirl Selene Grey for all of them.
Yep. /SuperGirl Selene Grey is Facebook, and just simply Selene Grey. It's spelled Grey. So.
Oh, okay. Well, they have it. Spell it correctly so you can find it.
Yep. Pretty simple.
And for those that are listening to this that have not gone onto it, we have a Facebook page. Let's go to just search out Women's Pro Wrestling Network. It is there. You can find the brand new Twitter. I mean, it's literally brand spanking new, probably less than a week old. So go to WPN Wrestling. You can see us on that. And, of course, free matches, interviews, podcasts, reviews, things of all of that nature on our YouTube channel, which you're more than likely listening to this on right now. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because we can use the support. Thanks to everybody for listening to this podcast. Please support Selene Grey and all her future matches, because the next match that she has is the best match that she will have.
Nicely said.
All right, folks. Good night, everybody.